Hello and welcome to the EZL North American Best of 3 draft tournaments, and today we have Team Lunaris on the A side and ImYellow on the B side. We are excited to see how both teams play, as they both have done pretty well in the previous EZL games and they've been very aggressive in their gameplay. So we're possibly looking at a Baron ban coming in from Team Lunaris. Baron being hovered over. That is a confirmed ban coming in from Lunaris. So let's see who's possibly going to be banned. You're looking at a lot of hovers onto Rhyme, so possibly a lure. So no, they instead decide to push out Grace from the face. So a Lyra pick, a hover onto Vox. One of those two will be picked. So it may be a Lyra. I would say Lyra is very good, but so long as you have an Adagio and a Rhyme comp. So if you have an Adagio and a Rhyme, I would say that it's a very powerful combo, as Rhyme can stay inside the fight for long and Adagio can just toss and heals onto Rhyme, keep him alive for as long as he wants. But you're looking at a Vox and a Catherine pick coming in from Osboss and Chronoshin. Vox is a dive-ready hero, and having a Catherine in the front line means that there's going to be a lot of stunts coming in from Chronoshin, and an assist, a dive assist coming in along with Vox to take out any one of the damage dealers from Team Lunaris. You're looking at a Glaive as a counter pick to Catherine and Vox. I would say it's a very good counter pick, as it would outposition Vox every time they go into a fight, or push away Catherine from a team fight and pick out Vox almost immediately. You're looking at a Samuel pick, and countering Samuel pick we have a Baptiste pick, so you're possibly looking at a lot of burst damage coming in from ImYellow, but also Team Lunaris, they have a lot of sustain coming in from the Poison Shift, a possible Poison Shift pick coming in from Glaive, and his Bloodsong stack's already giving him 20% lifesteal at max stack, and Samuel with his Drifting Dark Malice and Verdict combo will help him survive for a very long time in battle. So battle starts and both teams are ready, buying their defensive items, as everyone would say. The battle did begin. Let's see if they're going to be playing defensively or offensively, as both teams are ready, but the Glaive and Vox do decide to stick in lane and stay up there and get the first few minions. Baptiste, on the other hand, is staying close to his back few minions, going to confirm the back jungle before anything. But Lyra decides to stay with Glaive because she knows that since Glaive is a laner with the melee characteristic, he needs a lot of heal in order to survive against a Vox. Vox managing to keep his distance away from Roni, and Roni continues to take out the creeps that whoever go low around him, and they're possibly going to be pushing the minions into the enemy side. Catherine trying to set up a lot of stun opportunities, but cannot. She does manage to get her second stun in the first minute. It is expected for a Catherine to have 2 stacks per minute, but down in the jungle, Baptiste and Sir Turtlelot are dishing out a lot of damage, trading a lot of pain amongst each other. Turtlelot will be taken out by the empowered Baptiste, and Bad Mojo will harass Mojikun, forcing him to turn around and get away from the fight. ImYellow does manage to get the first blood against Team Lunaris, thus essentially pushing his goal lead by that much. They do decide to turn around and stay in the backs, junglers of both teams, and they continue farming up before the 4-minute mark to get the level 6 as soon as possible. Chronoshin looking at a lot of wave clearance with the assistance coming in from his resonance bounces. Roni, on the other hand, uses Afterburn, forces Chronoshin to go behind the turret. Turret does manage to damage Chronoshin. Sir Turtle coming from the back, trying to damage Chronoshin. Chronoshin taking a lot of damage from the Malice and Vertex, and he does die to Sir Turtle from the Malice and Vertex. Turret shot hitting Sir Turtle, pushing him to the back. Samuel dishing out a lot of damage with the Malice and Vertex and Drifting Dark. Good plays, good pincer maneuver coming in from Samuel to take out Box. The Ordained coming in onto Glaive, catching him down, but Glaive continues to dish out a lot of damage with his Twisted Stroke and critical shots. Catherine severely harassed, but continues to stay in the bush as she knows that she has a lot of energy, so that means a lot of stuns and Storm Guard bounces can be popped off her body. Looking at some more passive play in the first 3 minutes, item-wise, Vox seems to be doing pretty well, getting himself an attack speed increase, helping himself farm faster against the Glaive, so that he can get away from a possible gank faster by clearing the farm faster than Glaive. Samuel, on the other hand, has a lot of Crystal Bits, so you're looking at a lot of early game burst damage against opponents. That's an Afterburn coming onto Chronoshin. Chronoshin gets away from Glaive by the assist, stun assist coming in from Osboss, but Mujikin gets caught out by the Ordained, walks away without getting stunned. So that's one burn coming in from Mujikun onto ImYellow by wasting the stun. ImYellow does get close to Roni, but does not notice that Sir Turtlelot and Mujikun are really close. Osboss taking a lot of damage coming in from Sir Turtlelot, and Osboss does gets away. Chronoshin gets away too. The Mouse and Vertex do not connect, but 338 damage, a lot of damage coming in onto Roni because the empowered shots coming in from empowered Bad Mojo coming in from ImYellow onto Roni. Really good plays coming in from Chronoshin, from ImYellow, from ImYellow himself, from Baptiste himself, by forcing Glaive to play defensively whenever Baptiste comes up in lane. Fountain Renewal picked by both teams, so we can now expect to see a lot of semi-aggressive plays as Lyra can do a lot of healing with her Imperial Sigil and her Bright Bulwark Lockdown. That's a Afterburn onto Chronoshin. Chronoshin gets away with the last few bits of health coming in from the Fountain Renewal, and that's a sleep onto Catherine and Baptiste. Baptiste tossing a fearsome shade onto Box, pushing Samuel away and getting him immediately after the fear. ImYellow does turn around as Roni does Afterburn Chronoshin and close with the turret. Again, Roni getting Ordained and ImYellow assisting and stunning, and Roni gets destroyed by Chronoshin. Good plays coming in from Vox and Baptiste and taking out Glaive in the past few moments. That's an empowered Malice and Verdict shots coming in from Sir Turtlelot onto Chronoshin, but Osboss does a really good body blocking to protect Chronoshin and help him get away from Samuel. A lot of passive plays, continued passive plays being noticed by both teams, as they know that an out position will mean guaranteed death, as another Afterburn coming in from Glaive onto Chronoshin. Chronoshin does manage to get away with the Sonic Zooms, and Osboss continues to stun Roni and assist Chronoshin getting away from the dangers coming in from Glaive. Roni gets healed back to near full health, and you're looking at another through a team fight. That's a fearsome shade onto Lyra. Lyra gets feared away, and that's a confirmed kill onto Lyra, and ImYellow doing a really good job in forcing Team Lunaris to play defensively in this team fight. That's an afterburn onto Baptiste. Baptiste getting severely damaged, but gets countered. Glaive gets severely countered by the stun coming in from Merciless Pursuit coming in from Catherine to take out Glaive. Sir Turtlelot is forced to stay in the backlines as he does not have any energy to take out the heal camps. ImYellow getting spotted out by the flares. Sir Turtlelot does get stunned by Catherine, but the empowered Mouse and Vertex does get the kill on Baptiste, and Sir Turtlelot is continuing to take out the Center Treant. Does get the Center Treant, so helped the Jungle Treant. So now he's going to be getting enough energy to go into the team fight and get enough damage onto Team ImYellow. Team ImYellow, Chronoshin is back up in the lane trying to protect his turret from taking any minion damage. Roni being careful as he is, as he knows that Catherine can do a lot of damage with the stuns, so, and if not damage, just break a lot of chain shots with the stuns, so forcing Glaive to stay very defensive. That's an afterburn coming onto Vox. Vox taking a lot of damage from the turret shots and the Malice and Vertex. That's an empowered Malice and Vertex falling onto Vox. Vox gets almost deleted by the Malice and Vertex. The minions taking a lot of damage, and Roni assisting in clearing the minion waves, trying to push the minion waves into the tower, trying to take out the turret as soon as possible. Glaive possibly trying to go for an afterburn. Afterburn lands onto Baptiste. Baptiste taking a lot of damage from the twisted strokes, but does manage to toss in a very good fearsome shades onto the entirety of Team Lunaris. Team Lunaris just turn around and walk away from Baptiste as they know that the Crystal Sentry can come down and severely harass Team Lunaris. Glaive gets caught out by the Ordain and gets severely stunned, gets destroyed by the Ordain shot. That's a Oblivion landing onto Vox and Baptiste, but that's all that can possibly done. Team Lunaris trying to capture back the gold miner. Do miss the opportunity to catch the gold miner. Vox and Baptiste toss in a lot of damage onto Samuel to confirm the kill on Samuel, and Samuel does die. And Team ImYellow continue to be aggressive as they were to confirm a lot of jungle gold towards themselves. 9 minutes in the game and no turret has been damaged. So this means that still both teams are playing very defensively when it comes to objective control, except for against capturing the Kraken. It's my bad. Capturing the gold miner. Afterburn onto Vox, but Vox gets away by using his boots and Sonic Zoom, but Sir Turtlelot gets back into the fight, tosses in a lot of damage with the Malice and Verdict, and possibly going to be taking out a Drifting Dark to take out someone within ImYellow. A lot of damage again tossed on to Chronoshin as Catherine is not being able to body block against Sir Turtlelot. Sorrowblade, Shatterglass, and Clock were already picked up by Baptiste. That means a lot of damage can come in from the Bad Mojo and Ordain, and the Fearsome Shade can be very frequently pulled out. Glaive gets caught out by diving in too deep to the Afterburn and does die to the damage coming in from Baptiste. Turret being slightly damaged, and the turret tries to get revenge for the damage done onto Glaive, but that's a continued force down onto Team Lunaris. Lunaris getting severely focused down by Baptiste. Baptiste getting a lot of empowered stacks very easily and continuing to force themselves to get behind enemy lines and take out the turret very easily. Glaive does spawn in the last few seconds, so denying the ace, but they do lose the turret. That means Glaive has no choice but to turn around and get away from the fight, as that's the only thing that they can do right now. And instead, ImYellow do decide to turn around and they recall, so that means more safety coming in for Team Lunaris. Glaive trying to connect stick onto Kronoshin, but Kronoshin just walks away with the use of his boots. Catherine gets in the last moments and stuns out Glaive before he gets the kill onto the healer, the Treant. But Vox gets away with a sliver of his health, and that's a follow on to Vox. Vox taking a lot of damage, but Lyra does die. Lyra does die to the Crystal Sentry and Baptiste. Roni taking in a lot of damage, but Sir Turtle took the crystal, the jungle Treant. So that means that Glaive is now forced to recall. So possibly a disbanding from a retreat from the gold miner. So possibly trying to focus down a minion wave. Afterburn onto Kronoshin. Taking a lot of damage. That's 500, that's about 50% of the health just disappearing just because of one afterburn and one twisted stroke. So Kronoshin has to be really careful according to the defenses that he's purchased. The Drifting Dark does come in and Empowered Malice and Verdict does a lot of damage onto ImYellow, but that's all that can be seen as Kronoshin takes in significant damage, taking into quarter health. But no kills yet seen for Team Lunaris in the past few minutes. Both teams, Team Lunaris and ImYellow, are playing quite defensively in these past few minutes as they haven't been as aggressive. The only time aggression was seen was when Mojikun decided to go into the enemy's backlines, into the enemy jungle in front of the Crystal Sentry, trying to confirm the kill onto Vox, but could not manage to do so as Catherine assisted in stunning Lyra out of her hits, and the Ordained coming in from Baptiste taking out Lyra. Mouse and Vortex lands on to Osbos. Osbos turns around, sidesteps against the Mouse and Vortex shots coming in from Sir Turtle. Bad Mojo, that's a 3-man silence coming in from Catherine. Glaive afterburns away from the hit, but that's 3-man Oblivion, so it's triple sleep coming in for Team Lunaris, but no one could take advantage of the sleep. ImYellow taking advantage of the retreat, but Glaive turns around and takes out ImYellow and almost immediately. Vox tries to get away. Kronoshin is still not away from the Twisted Stroke shots, and he does die to Vox in the last few seconds. So it's a 2-1 kill trade coming in toward favoring Team Lunaris. And Team Lunaris are now continuing to damage the Sentry and the gold miner. That's about 300 gold per person, so that means about 900 gold, about 1,000 gold lead, gold coverage, attempting to close the gap between themselves and Team ImYellow. Kraken is up now on the fold. Within the past few, Team Lunaris managed to get the last gold payout and couldn't get anything else before that or after that. Same thing goes for ImYellow, but they could not get any of the gold payouts. Looking at level 12 coming in from both teams, and Sir Turtle trying to outposition Kronoshin. Kronoshin staying closer to the Catherine. Catherine is ready for her silence, but Team Lunaris decide to play defensively and get in the backlines. Catherine does engage capture on the Kraken. Baptiste doing a lot of damage on the Kraken, assisting in capturing the Kraken very, very soon. Glaive is in the fold, so trying to help steal the Kraken from right under ImYellow's nose, but that's a lot of damage coming in from Kronoshin, and Glaive taking a lot of damage coming from Kraken and Baptiste, and that's a sleep coming in on to Lyra, and Lyra does die to the Kraken, and Samuel dies to the Vox. Samuel dies to, well, yes, the Vox. That's a double kill for Kronoshin. That's an ace coming in from ImYellow. So this is going to be at least 1 or 2 turrets, with the number of minions pushing the turrets and the Kraken pushing along with them. Team Lunaris is back up on the fold, so they will have to come up and try to focus down Vox, if anything, and try to take him down as soon as possible, or at least Baptiste, because he gets his empowered mode very soon, and the moment he gets into his empowered mode, he lands in a lot of damage coming with those Bad Mojos, and Ordain's Fearsome Shades is also available very quickly, so he has to be Team Lunaris has to be very careful about that. That's an Afterburn onto Vox, pushing him away. That's an Oblivion being blocked off by the reflex blocks, and the Kraken continuing to do a lot of damage. That's a silence coming out of Glaive, but that's all that can be seen right now. That's going to be one lost Vayne turret, and the second turret is going to be focused down. But ImYellow decided to be careful about this, and they do use their Founder Renewal. Both teams do not have their Founder. That's an attempted Afterburn jump. Now that's going to be one destroyed. Vayne Crystal, ImYellow continues to focus down the Vayne Crystal while Team Lunaris is focusing down Team ImYellow. Catherine does get taken out by Glaive, and Vox is the only one on the fold with very few numbers on his health bar. Vox does get away by Sonic zooming out of Team Lunaris' reach, and Roni does have his Afterburns, but this is not going to be a lost attempt to catch that ace, as Team Lunaris do get the ace, and they will surely take out the turret. Lunaris trying to turn the game around. They still have a similar gold difference, and this means that both are doing similarly fairly well in objective fights, but a Kraken push did cost them a lot of turrets. But although about 300, 900, 1800, although 2100 gold went in the pockets of Team ImYellow, Team Lunaris managed to turn around the gold difference almost immediately from a 2k to about a 200 gold difference. You're looking at infusion across the board for Team Lunaris, while you're looking at a popped infusions for Baptiste and Vox. So, well, now there's an infusion on everyone in the game, so we're possibly going to be looking at a team fight in the next few minutes, as Team ImYellow is trying to attempt for a backdoor, as ImYellow tries to go in the back, tries to walk back, but Afterburn catches out ImYellow, and Roni gets away with the assistance coming from the Oblivion from Sir Turtlot. Team ImYellow are forced to play aggressively, while Team Lunaris is forced to play defensively in this team fight, and ImYellow doing a very good job, but that's a portal coming in onto the enemy side. ImYellow forced to play defensively, as Kronoshin is forced to move in the back lines, and he tries to Sonic Zoom behind the wall. ImYellow, on the other hand, starts to damage the Vayne Crystals. Vayne Crystal takes in a lot of damage from the Bad Mojo, but immediately Baptiste gets immediately deleted by the Samuel Mouse and Verdicts. Oswald's trying to sacrifice himself for Kronoshin to get away. Roni trying to follow Glaive, and Vox does manage to get away using his Sonic Zooms. Glaive takes in a fancy amount of damage, but I don't think he's being able to land enough burst damage onto the opponents. But Team Lunaris now have decided to capture the Kraken for themselves this time, possibly trying to push at least 2 turrets with the Kraken, trying to take out and trying to force ImYellow to play extremely defensively in the later parts of the game. And Kronoshin and ImYellow are not aware of this Kraken capture, and Kraken gets captured for Team Lunaris without any difficulty coming in from Team ImYellow, and now they'll be forcing the Kraken into the enemy turrets. Because of passive play, Team Lunaris managed to get were lured into walking backwards to save their base from an attempted backdoor, because no appearance on the maps would possibly mean a backdoor coming in. well, you have a higher chance of seeing a backdoor, but you're possibly looking at another team fight along with the Kraken forcing down smashing down on the turrets. Turrets gets a lot of damage, but that's all that can be seen right now. That's an afterburn coming on Vox. Vox gets away, just misses the sleep, the Oblivion, and a fearsome shade landing onto Team Lunaris gets immediately blocked out by the Crucible. Now some verdict shots trying to do some damage, but that's a 3-man silence coming in from Catherine. So Kraken will be easily taken down before the second turret gets destroyed. So you have 3 turrets staying up for Team ImYellow, while Team Lunaris don't have anything left right now. Passive play does have to be noticed for at least the later parts of the game until everyone has their full build set up. But he's already is very close to his late game, as he has 3 damage items in his pocket. Muji-kun and Glaive are ready for surprise damage. And Afterburn is almost incoming for Glaive, possibly on a Chronoshin, trying to push him away from a team fight and trying to focus down ImYellow as soon as possible, because Chronoshin just managed to stick around and do enough damage, wait for his breaking point to stack up before he continues damaging anyone within Team ImYellow. A lot of tension going on between both Team Lunaris and ImYellow, as one more team fight could spell victory for one team or the other. They're waiting it out for the Kraken to come back on the board, as the moment the Kraken comes up, there's possibly going to be a push to game for Team Lunaris, and if not game for Team Lunaris, one ace coming in from ImYellow means the game lost for Lunaris and game won by ImYellow. Mouse and verdict shots connecting with a few people, helping Samuel stack up on the broken mid stack. That's an afterburn coming on to Box, pushing him away from the team fight, and Drifting Dark helping Samuel do a lot of damage onto Catherine. Catherine is forced to turn around, play defensively, while Roni and Muji-kun push forward to catch out Vox and immediately take him out. Miscommunication there, Vox. Glaive could not walk into the Imperial Sigil to get boosted towards Vox, but Catherine does die to Samuel's Malice and Verdict shots, and there's going to be another captured Kraken for Team Lunaris. Glaive tries to stick on to Chronoshin, but Chronoshin uses boots and gets away from danger. Tier 3 boots, travel boots picked up by Vox, helps him use his boots every 12 seconds, helping him get away from damage or getting closer to a from the looks of it. It seems that Team Lunaris might be able to push for victory in this team fight, as they have a Kraken going along with them, and so long as they manage to take out Batiste from the map, they can possibly push this game towards their side and win this game. Well, it seems that I have to restart the game, as it does not look good. So let's just begin as soon as possible. Get back into the team fight. possibly not miss out a lot. And seems that we've come to an end of the first game. We don't know who won. Oh, so it seems like Team ImYellow won the first game, so that is possibly a very good thing for Team ImYellow, as they managed to catch, well, from what I can guess, Team ImYellow, they managed to catch out the glaive whenever the glaive would dive in and focus him down almost immediately. We'll be back after a small break, and after that we'll be ready to stream the second game. Hello and welcome to the second round of the best of 3 again of Team Lunaris versus Team ImYellow. ImYellow took the first game very well by taking out the 5 turrets in the first few minutes, and they managed to take out the, well, we had a disconnection issue, but the Team Lunaris could not, they managed to catch the Kraken and try to push the Kraken into the enemy Vain turrets, but they could not survive the damages coming in from Baptiste's burst damage. So we're looking at a Baron ban coming in from Team Lunaris, and well, Team ImYellow and Lunaris banning Vox from the map. There's a Grace pickup coming in from Osbot, so probably looking at a lot of good captain dives coming in from Grace. Catherine pick coming in from Muji-kun to counter the Grace damages. So we're possibly looking at a lure in a way by picking up an Idris to counter the pick coming in from Grace. I'd say it's a very good idea, as Grace and Idris go really hand in hand when it comes to dives and escapes. That's a glaive and a Baptiste pick coming in along with Grace. So you're possibly looking at a lot of zone control and a lot of picking in and a lot of stunts coming in from crowd control in a way, coming in from Team ImYellow. Sky pickup coming in from Sir Turtle, exchanging picks coming from among Well, it looks like Sir Turtlelot right now is going to be in lane and sending Roni down in the jungle. So switching roles and possibly going to be changing their playstyle, forcing Team ImYellow to see how Team Lunaris plays in the second round. It's going to be newer than how it was before, as Idris, everyone has the idea of how strong Idris can easily dive onto opponents. So the last thing to know right now is to see how many times Idris dives in and how frequently Sky assists in a dive to take out specific targets. You're looking at a lot of mobility coming in from Team Lunaris, and a massive silence coming in from Mujikun from Team Lunaris. Muji takes in a lot of damage coming in from Grace. That's a scout trap removed by Osboss and forcing Muji to play defensively, forcing him to go to the top upper brush or Turtlelot in the upper lane, continuing to clear the lane minions fast as possible. Catherine and Sky stick together, get the few minions. This time you're looking at a lot of defensive play coming in from both players from Team ImYellow and Team Lunaris. Catherine does manage to stun out Osboss from his dive and helping Sir Turtlelot survive a possible slow. Kronishan taking a lot of damage from the forward barrage, forced to move back as ImYellow does turn around and come back up in lane, tossing a couple of bad mojo shots, stacking up just before the fourth stack to ready up his empowered bad mojos onto Team Lunaris. So compared to the previous game, Team Lunaris have been playing rather more defensively, not going for any possible first bloods. But Kronishan did not take the advantage of the excessive dive coming in from Sir Turtlelot by afterburning him towards the tower. Instead, he decides to let him go back, let him recall, assist in pushing the minion wave forward rather than closer towards his own turret. Sky, on the other hand, does manage to confirm her capture of the Elder Treant for the second time in a row, so that means that she'd be getting that level 3 faster than level 6 faster than Baptiste. But little do we notice, ImYellow does manage to get himself his level 4 before Roni, and that's a merciless pursuit coming in onto Kronishan. Kronishan does manage to get away from any possible damage because Osboss turns around, dives into Sir Turtlelot, and harassing him from getting even closer to Kronishan. That's a merciless pursuit coming on to Kronishan. Kronishan does not use his afterburn, rather lets Muji stack up on his Vanguard stacks. That's a lot of stun, a lot of damage coming in from the bad mojo, but that's a ordain onto Idris, but for Barrage continues to damage a lot. ImYellow turns around to toss in some more damage with the bad mojo, but does not manage to land any of the empowered shots onto straight onto Sir Turtlelot. Rather, the burst damage takes it. The splash damage does manage to harm Roni to push him into the lower few health bars. Jungle did intensify and level 5 across the jungler boards, so you're looking at a lot of vision setup, a lot of vision items purchased by Mujikun, and he already got his fountain renewal at 4 minutes, while Osboss does not have his, although he does have enough gold to buy himself one. A rather defensive play coming in from both teams, as I said before, as no one has decided to attempt to get the first blood as compared to the play seen in play 1 in the game 1, but that's a lot of damage coming in from the tension bow proc from Glaive onto Catherine. Catherine decides to stay in the jungle and wait it out in the bush and wait it out for Sky to come up in the lane so that they can begin another 3v3 team fight. Item wise, Sky already got herself a Frostburn. This means that a lot of slow can be tossed on to anyone from ImYellow, but what we are actually waiting for is for Baptiste to get his Shatterglass, and he's actually very close to getting himself a Shatterglass. He needs to purchase it right now as he does have enough money for it. The Forward Barrage continues to damage Chronoshin, and he does manage to walk away from the Chakra and the Forward Barrage, but he does get stunned by the Merciless Pursuit, and now he's taking a lot of damage from the Forward Barrage, and that's the Fountain Renewal popped off and rescued Chronoshin in the last few moments, and he does get away with a sliver of health, turn into 3 bars of health. Idris gets Ordained, and the Afterburn onto Idris locks him up, and then another fearsome Shade catches him out, but nah, kill cannot be confirmed onto Sir Turtlelot as Mujikun already pops his Thunder Renewal, but a lot of Forward Barrage damage coming onto Baptiste, taking him out almost immediately. Chronoshin is trying to get away from the damage coming from Mujikun. Mujikun gets caught out by the turret. We have no idea why he decided to do that, but he did actually let himself get captured. Sir Turtlelot, the only one up in lane, trying to dish out some damage, trying to continue harassing Team ImYellow. Chakram's doing some pretty good damage, but did not unfortunately land onto Chronoshin, so he could not damage him, but it does land this time and harass Glaive. Not as much, but just enough for him to be very careful as he takes a lot of damage from the Merciless Pursuit and Shimmer Strike and the Shot Step down combo. Glaive is forced to recall, so now there's a 3v2 team fight going on up in the lane, but Sky does decide to rotate down, trying to take out the center heal. The minion did not spawn yet. The Treant does spawn right now, but he's forced to stay up in lane, thus denying the jungle farm from Baptiste. Already building his Clockwork at this point. Is almost close to unlocking his Clockwork actually, and Idris does have his Divergent Paths perk unlocked, so he can blink around, but he's currently building towards a Poison Shiv. Poison Shiv and Sorrowblade combo does help Idris stay extremely healthy in a team fight against a Glaive, but if you have Baptiste in the team fight, you have to be very careful as he can use his Empowered Bad Mojo and do a lot of burst and just instantly deny any sort of sustain that you have. ImYellow does come back up to lane to bully Mujikun, and Catherine does decide to stay on the back line, staying the back part of the Mustache Bush. Idris does get ordained by Baptiste, but Sir Turtlelot does not walk out of the chain, so he does not take a lot of damage. For Barrage does get missed by Chronoshin and dodged by Chronoshin, and there's a lot of turret pressure currently being seen from Team Lunaris compared to the previous game, as Team Lunaris tossing a lot of burst damage and a lot of stun damage onto Team ImYellow. That's a Death from Above and Forward Barrage combo coming onto Osbos, and he's forced to use his Fountain Renewal. ImYellow taking a lot of damage with the Chakram. He's forced to turn around and get away from the team fight as he does not have enough stacks left to build up to get his heal before he gets empowered. That's a massive afterburn damage coming on a Sir Turtlelot, but For Barrage harasses Kronishin, forces him to turn and walk the other direction, letting Idris port back almost immediately, helping him get himself a Poison Shiv. So now we have a Poison Shiv on Idris along with the Sorrow Blade, so we're possibly looking at a lot of sustain coming in from Idris against the Glaive, but all he needs to do right now is to defend himself against the afterburn shots. Sky coming in from the back, but does not decide to rotate top. Rather than that, stay close and walk back to the jungle minion as the jungle shop as Sir Turtlelot is walking down 2 shop items and gets himself a metal jacket to build up massive defense against Kronishin's tension bow. So this means that he'll not be able to build himself 4 item damage spikes, but he'd still be strong enough to dish out massive damage onto Team ImYellow. Nordane coming on to Sir Turtlelot and Shimmer Strike coming on to Baptiste, but Baptiste gets away, just surviving the damages coming in from Idris, but For Barrage takes out Glaive and continues to damage ImYellow, but Catherine does body block, but not enough as Fearsome Shade does push away Roni away from danger, but Idris sticks onto Roni and take him out immediately. Idris sticks onto Baptiste and takes him out immediately. Oswas is forced to recall as he does not have enough energy and health to save the turret from being destroyed. This is going to be the first turret goes towards Team Lunaris in this game, and the first game does go towards the first game advantage, although is towards Team ImYellow. They have to be very careful in the second game as Team Lunaris is doing a pretty good damage onto Team ImYellow. Idris does come around from the back, tries to damage Kronishin, but gets away. Kronishin gets away with the afterburn and immediately walks away and recalls from any imposing danger. A lot of defensive plays are now being focused. Now, Team ImYellow is playing quite defensively compared to the previous game where they were playing rather aggressively against Team Lunaris. But now that Sir Turtlelot and Roni switched roles, we can possibly look at a totally different gameplay as you're looking at brandly people picking up different roles. Team Lunaris being careful and staying closer together near the gold miner so that they can rotate down to the jungle shop and get infusions almost immediately. Idris and Sky getting the farm as soon as possible to build the 500 gold in their pocket. What am I saying? Idris gets himself a tension bow as his 3rd damage item, so now we can look at a lot of burst potential coming in from Idris the moment he decides to stick onto a target. So also looking at the fact that Baptiste does not have any armor built up and the only defense that he has is the tier 1 shield, so it means that if Idris decides to focus down ImYellow cannot survive the burst damages from Idris or Sky, as the absence of shield will make them very weak. Death from Above does push Team ImYellow towards Team Lunaris, and For Barrage does manage to do some damage, but Idris decided to do a lot of damage onto Glaive. Glaive does die to Idris and Sky, and so does Grace, and now a follow chase coming in onto ImYellow. ImYellow taking quite a lot of damage from the For Barrage and Suri Strikes. He does die to the damages from the Suri Strike and For Barrage combo. The Crystal Sentry taking a lot of damage as well, so this means that that's a lot of gold coming in the hands of Team Lunaris as the tier 2 turret is down and the Crystal Sentry is taken out and the Gold Miner is going towards Team Lunaris. So finally, Team Lunaris getting a lot of advantage against Team ImYellow, getting themselves a lot of goal lead and 1-6 kill difference. Both teams, Team ImYellow does not have any infusions up yet, but Idris does have his level 11 infusion set up, so now you're looking at a lot of game playmaking possibly from Sir Turtlelot if he does decide to go in deep and try to focus down Baptiste in the early few minutes. Team ImYellow does rotate top to prevent a possible minion push, but nothing can be expected from this minion push, as Team Lunaris will rather decide to hide right under the enemy Tribrush. That's an Ordained coming onto Sky. Sky does manage to stay within the circle, and that's a double man silence and manage to get the Grace. And Idris stays way too deep, close towards Glaive, trying to take out Glaive, and instead decides to take out Baptiste to protect themselves from the burst damage from the Bad Mojo, and for Barrage sticks onto Chronoshin, and that's going to be another ace coming in for Team Lunaris. This is going to be the first Kraken capture of the game, possibly towards Team Lunaris, and no turret capture, so this means that it's going to be possibly another 1 or 2 turrets in the hands of Team Lunaris. So Crystal Sentry is now being focused on by Lunaris to catch down, to clear up the jungle and protect themselves from a 4v3 attack within the enemy jungle, so making it more safe and pushing the goal lead towards themselves in the pockets. Kraken is coming closer to the choke turret, and Samuel and Baptiste does manage to build up his Bad Mojo, empowered Bad Mojos, but Team Lunaris do notice the empowerment and do decide to get away from the choke point, and they let Kraken take out the choke turret. Now Sky does go in, and that's a stun onto Glaive. Glaive takes in a lot of damage, but that's a block off the silence. Sky tries to turn around and do a lot of more damage with this forward barrage, and it just tries to continue sticking with Glaive and Baptiste, and Baptiste also gets taken out. That's a Kraken is really healthy at this point, and Team Lunaris playing really well this round, trying to take out all the turrets, focusing down all the turrets, taking a death from above, confirming the capture of the last Vein turret, and the Vein Crystal will go down. With this, we come to an end to the second game of the best of 3 series, and both teams have a 1 game advantage. So the next game is going to be the decider game as to see which team is better. Is it going to be ImYellow or is it going to be Team Lunaris? We will see that right after the break. Hello and welcome to the last draft, best of three. Game 3 of the best of 3 of Team Lunaris versus Team ImYellow. I'm your host, Mr. Rocks1337, and today we're looking at Team Lunaris on the A side and Team ImYellow on the B side. We're looking at a lot of damage coming in from a Catherine pick that is picked up by Mujikun. So we're possibly going to be looking, hopefully be looking at a ban coming, Catherine ban to ban off, to protect a stun pick coming in from Team Lunaris. But we're looking at a Vox ban against ImYellow, but ImYellow counter it with a Grace ban. Very powerful bans, as both Vox and Grace do a lot of harassment, as they both can die really well. And you're looking at a third pick, third Catherine pick. So it feels like Mujikun is really comfortable with Catherine. So they still, Team ImYellow continued to pick up Lyra, and they picked up Idris to counter the Catherine pick. So what possibly going to be Black Feather, a hover on Black Feather, possibly going to be a weapon Black Feather, we may never know, but possibly, well, there's a lot of mobility coming in from Idris, so the only way we can lock him out is by forcing him to take in a lot of damage and immediately bursting him down with a Heartbreak, with the Heartbreak stacks, Broken Heart stacks, Heartthrob stacks. Broken Heartthrob stacks, that's what it's called. Baptiste pick has been picked up, so this is going to be a lot of lockdown for Team Lunaris against Team ImYellow, as Ordained and Fearsome Shades, along with a Stun and Silence coming in from Catherine. That establishes a lot of crowd control, and to counter that, Team ImYellow have decided to pick up a Kestrel. Either way, Kestrel or weapon power or crystal power Kestrel can do a lot of damage. Same thing goes with Idris, but if you're going crystal Idris, the thing is you will have to play passively, as the Idris does not do a lot of damage with basic attacks, but does more damage with his chakram and keeping it out on the map for as long as possible. So we're looking at Idris and Black Feather up in lane, and it's going to be a weapon power Idris that is confirmed, as Kestrel picks herself up some crystal bits. So Chronoshin is taking a lot of stun damages, and one thing to notice is that Team Lunaris do not have any backline. They only have a front line. All three damage dealers will do a lot of sustain, but they also have to notice that Lyra is a very good counter to Black Feather by locking him in the Bright Bulwark. Kestrel, on the other hand, rotates down along with Sir Turtlelot, trying to steal the Treant, but Sir Turtlelot does get himself the Treant and gets the extra healing coming in from the Treant, which could have possibly been used to counter a push from Team ImYellow, but instead they decide to play passively, turn around and walk in the other direction. Idris does get caught out by the Ordained, takes in a lot of damage with the empowered Bad Mojo, and First Blood does go towards Baptiste. Sir Turtlelot does manage to get himself a fancy 300 gold in his pocket. 2 minutes in, and about 1100 gold in Baptiste's pocket. That means that he will be able to get closer, really close to his empowered, towards his Shatterglass, if that is what is expected from the Baptiste. Catherine turns around and tries to stun out ImYellow from his Glimmer Shot, volley, chains, and takes in a lot of damage and does die to the glimmer shots coming in from Kestrel onto Catherine. Ordain landing onto Osboss, but he does not take in the stun coming in from the Ordain, and that's a lot of damage coming in from the glimmer shots onto Roni. Roni turns around, walks the other direction, but the empowered, but he tosses in a massive damage onto Kestrel. Kestrel getting severely harassed by Catherine, and but he's forced to turn around and allow Kronoshin to rotate down to damage Blackfeather and Baptiste from the back. One thing to note is that we are back at the 3-minute mark, and you're looking at a 1-1 and a rather 1,000 gold difference. So Team Lunaris back at it with the goal lead that they had in the first game, but now they have to be slightly careful as Blackfeather did recall, so that means that Idris has all more chance to move forward and push the minion wave into the enemy turret. That's an Ordain come landing onto Idris. Idris taking massive damage from the empowered Bad Mojos, and Kestrel on the other hand turns around, helps to kill Catherine, but Blackfeather, but Baptiste manages to take out Idris by flanking him and taking him out with a Bad Mojo. That's a lot of damage coming in from the glimmer shots on Roni, but empowered Bad Mojo harasses ImYellow by a lot of damage, by roughly 200 damage, forcing him to stay on the defensive and forcing him to turn around and go backwards. That's a lot of damage coming on to Idris in this team fight, but Idris does manage to get away from any impending damages, and instead Kestrel does get the kill onto Muji-kun. Roni has to be slightly defensive in this round as he does not have anyone to save him. The one-shot one kill does manage to connect onto Blackfeather. Blackfeather does die to the one-shot one kill, allowing a minion volley to go into the enemy turret and helping ImYellow take out the turret, but Idris does get caught out by the Ordain and turret shots, and he does die to the Bad Mojo shots. Muji-kun is trying to go way too deep to try to catch out Kestrel, but Kestrel does manage to hide in her active camo trap and does not catch out Catherine from hiding. Instead, just decides to walk away. That's a merciless pursuit onto Kronoshin, but Kronoshin does take the stun into his face, but turns around and survive the damage. Blackfeather decides to stick onto Idris. Idris taking a lot of damage from Blackfeather, but does not die as Roni decides to play passively and turns around and not get the kill on Idris. So you're finally looking at a fountain picked up by Lyra finally, and Muji-kun already had his fountain renewal, so they did have a chance of diving in, but they didn't take the advantage of the fountain. So this means that they were not aware of the item ability ready at the moment. Team ImYellow and Team Lunaris both playing extremely passively the 6-minute mark, staying in the backlands because they know a lot of damage can be dished out by the glimmer shot volleys, and it did, as Roni took a lot of damage from the glimmer shots, and that's a lot of fear coming on to ImYellow, and they do turn around and walk backwards. And one shot one kill does manage to connect on Roni, but he does manage to survive with a sliver of health. That's fountain renewal being forced out of Muji-kun, and now they have to fight even defensively at this moment. ImYellow taking advantage of the used fountain and going in deep as they know that they have their fountain ready for their team fight. Team Lunaris have to be slightly careful, at least for the next 40 seconds, because the Fountain, if not ready in that time, if they decide to be aggressive, then that means that a lot of disadvantages team fights can be expected from that. Idris does decide to go in way too deep onto Roni and does manage to land some fancy damage, but also decides to stick onto the Rose offensive coming in from Blackfeather, as he does use his boots to stick onto Blackfeather. Turret not damaging Idris, but Catherine does bounce off all the damage that Chronoshin did on Catherine, and Chronoshin forced to take all of the damage into his face. Well, good thing is that Osboss did have enough armor to protect himself from burst damage, so he also could not. He survived the burst, but Idris was forced to recall. A lot of glimmer shots landing onto Muji-kun, but the Stormguard used it at the right moment, bounced off all the damage right back onto Team ImYellow. Sir Turtlelot has now rotated back up in the lane along with Roni, so that means a lot of defensive damages can be popped off onto Team ImYellow, and that's exactly what happened. The silence and a fearsome shade landing onto Team ImYellow. Chronoshin taking a lot of damage from the Blackfeather. Blackfeather does manage to kill Idris now. Oswald's turning around, trying to take out as someone from Team Lunaris. One shot, one kill does manage to connect onto Blackfeather. Blackfeather onto Batiz. Blackfeather decided to turn around, and Oswald's turning around, trying to catch someone, and Team Lunaris did not notice that Lyra was too close. Now they're trying to let Kestrel get very close to Team Lunaris, and they do manage to get close to Kestrel, and they do harass Kestrel long enough to take her out. No, it was Lyra who managed to die from the damage coming in from Team Lunaris, and Kestrel will get caught out by the damages from Team Lunaris. Kestrel does get feared, but uses the fear to the advantage and does not use any ability and gets away from any possible danger. Kestrel is very, very low on health, but does manage to walk away from any possible danger. Blackfeather does manage to protect his second turret from destruction, but does lose his first turret to the push coming in from Idris. Good plays coming in from both teams, as good aggression and good passive plays coming in from Kestrel saved an ace for Team ImYellow. This is I just managed to miss out. Sir Turtlelot managed to take out Kestrel from the map by taking him out with the Ordained, and Bad Mojo's getting empowered and shutting Kestrel down. Up in the lane, Roni and Chronoshin are fighting really well, and Idris does manage to Atlas Blackfeather, so that means Blackfeather does fall to Idris and Lyra combined. Lyra's, as everyone knows, is a very, very strong counter to Blackfeather, so if you're fighting 1v2, the best that you can do in that moment is to turn around and run away, as Lyra will be able to lock you down with the Bright Bulwark. Team ImYellow and Team Lunaris are neck to neck on the number of kills and the goal difference, but they still do miss their tier 1 turret, Team Lunaris, and they will have to take out the first turret in order to turn around the game towards their side. That's a couple of glimmer shot landing onto Blackfeather, but nothing else can be expected from this team fight, as they all turn around and walk in their own directions. looking at the Crucible picked up by Lyra, so we were possibly looking at a lot of defensive reflex block to block off the silence coming in from Catherine, and Idris does decide to jump into Blackfeather. Blackfeather dishing out a lot of damage, 500 damage onto Idris, and Kestrel, they both get removed, and Lyra is forced to recall. Sir Turtle taking a lot of damage from the Crystal Sentry. That means that the Team Lunaris are now free to take out the first turret and also push the minions into the second turret. So that means the first turret is taken out by Team Lunaris. A solid 2k gold lead coming in from Team Lunaris almost immediately, as after Blackfeather managed to get himself a breaking point. Breaking point Serpent's Mask reminds me of the tier patch 2.0 days, when it was the most common item to be picked up by every Blackfeather, and every time Blackfeather would execute people, he would heal almost 2 or 3 bricks of health. That's a fearsome shade landing onto Kestrel, but Kestrel uses the reflex block to save himself, but Silence lands on Kestrel, and now Kestrel gets